Hi, I'm Michael Lee from the Nerds of Color, and I'm talking to Bonnie Hunt and Don Lake. How are you guys?
Good,
Great.
Michael. Thank you.
Yeah, nice
Thank
to be on your
you.
show.
Thank you. This is such a great way to see your two characters from Zootopia, which we got to see a little bit of in the first few minutes and through departing they depart from each other and the phone conversations. And I was just wondering what it's like to revisit these characters.
Oh, it's great joy. It's like going back to summer camp and seeing all your old friends and getting to create some memories together. And of course, I always love working with Don Lake. He's brilliant and kind and intelligent, and that's you just want to rise to the occasion to make each other laugh, and it's a joy.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about Bonnie. We've known each other for a long time, and each time we get to work together, it's so fun, and we get to play a little. Trent and Josie, the directors and writers, let us play and encouraged us to improvise and have fun. So it was a real special treat to get to go back and visit Stu and Bonnie Hopps.
Yeah.
So as you revisit these characters, we're seeing them kind of in a new light. And it's a very playful light as the parents chasing their youngest child, which is reminiscent of some of the older animated shorts where some sort of chase is going on, and there are these little mishaps. Did you have any sort of say in what would you like to see your characters do during this sort of chase?
It's kind of organic when that happens because of the creative team and the sense they give you of freedom. You come into a very character-driven written script and adventure, and they let us kind of explore and heighten that, encourage us. But the foundation's there when we walk in. We knew it was going to be action, which was so fun, so fun. And you're right, it is reminiscent of the animated stuff that we love, the storytelling we love from our youth.
And that people are going to be very kind of surprised. It's like, wow, these two are like that. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fun? We never thought they'd be like that. Yeah, it was fun to play.
And then there's this little I guess generational kind of aspect to it, because you see the FaceTime and everything. Like what was that like, adding those kind of things into it and playing off those age gaps between in your characters, I guess.
Well, it's kind of fun because you can see how things like FaceTime can kind of bite you sometimes, right? And they can kind of like, oh no. And that's what it was so great that they captured that in the movie and wrote that in the movie, that, oh my goodness, no, not now. I love how they incorporate things like that.
Yeah, it's the sense of the times, and everybody can like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of the sense of the times, was there any chance to improv with this in this kind of 7-minute span that you have in these shorts?
Yeah, they always encourage Don and I to have fun with it and bring ourselves to it, and we did. I mean, that's the big bonus with all this, is that here's this beautiful visual, creative, brilliant, genius work and this character-driven foundation, and then on top of all that, go ahead, have fun with it, see what you can bring to it.
Yeah, so it was a real gift. It's a real gift that they gave us. Yeah.
Oh, well, I enjoyed this watching this short, and I have to say that I'm going to encourage everyone to watch it because it's a nice way to see this new world, and through two special characters that people really can connect with. So that's all the time I have. Thank you very much. I'm Michael Lee from the Nerds of Color, and I have the pleasure of talking with directors Josie Trinidad, Trent Correy, and producer Nathan Curtis. How's everyone doing?
Hi, Michael. Doing well. Hello.
Hi.
Doing great, Michael. It's great to
Hi.
see you.
I know, great to see you. I actually met you, I think it was during the
Ralph.
Wreck-It
Yeah.
Ralph. Yes,
Wreck-It Ralph
yes.
too. I
Oh my
remember
gosh.
you when
Yeah,
we
thank
before
you.
times, Michael. Well, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It's such a pleasure to talk to you, because now I get to talk to you guys again about this amazing, I don't want to say follow-up. This is a in between sort of stories that we don't see going on. So my question is, how did that come about to tell these stories through multiple genres. I mean, there's a nod to Godfather. There's a musical. There's a play on the golden age of animation where Bonnie and is chasing the littlest one of the family. So where did that come about?
That's Trent Correy. That's all Trent Correy.
Yeah, these really came at, when Disney Animation opened up a pitch program for anybody in the studio. And it really just came at looking at the world of Zootopia, the first movie, which I was lucky enough to animate on, and seeing what Josie and her team did on that original movie, and just looking at it as a giant sandbox, Michael. I could just see so many different story opportunities, genre opportunities. I love puns, so that was a big part of it too. So it just, as a fan of the movie, it really came from a true place of just loving those characters in the world.
So I want to talk about going to, I guess, the very beginning of these episodes, where it's, again, a callback to the opening credits of these golden age of animation. Is very orchestral. There's the fast-paced, action is very kinetic. Who decided to do that? Where did that come about? I mean, that's very fun.
We really, the way Trent had designed and kind of pitched the series of shorts, he wanted to have them interwoven into the original movie. And so we sort of found those right cut points, and sort of touchstone moments from the original that we wanted to frame our episodes. So I feel like it was a great way for us to, as filmmakers, to creatively jumpstart our stories. So I feel like, what do you think, Trent?
Yeah, I think so too. And then with the actual opening titles of the episode.
That's right. I'm sorry.
I love what you're saying, Josie. And then the opening titles are just an extension of that. It's really the energetic feel was meant to say, you're in this big city. Like Josie always says, this is like New York City, right? And there's all these characters and fast moving environment. And even the jazz music gives you that big city feel. So, and then doing it in 2D, we were inspired by things like Pink Panther and Dr. Dolittle opening and all these kind of classic. And we have hand-drawn animators here at Disney Animation that worked on this, right, Josie? Mark Henn worked on this.
I'm sorry, Michael. Yeah, I'm so happy. This is the first time we've talked about the opening credits. Really, beautiful. Thank you for catching that, because we had it started with the boards of Javier Ledesma, who just sort of pulled some source music off the internet or something. He did these lovely boards, and then we had Mark Henn come in. We had
Nathan Engelhart.
Right? Really, those two spearheaded these titles that Nathan Curtis can speak to this. We weren't sure if we could actually execute these, because they were done at the tail end of the series. Nathan, you want to speak to that?
Yeah. So our, we had such a finite amount of time to make these shorts. And as Disney Animation does, we want to put all in everything. So, tracking down, we originally were not intending on doing these opening titles, but when we saw these original titles that were actually pitched, we had to make them. We had to. So went around, we figured out ways, how do we scrap around? And we're fortunate enough, again, to have artists in our studio who can do everything in-house. Yeah. And so because of that, we figured out ways of just getting these titles made, because we do think they were such a great entryway into the world of Zootopia.
Yeah. And shout out to Katie Fico too, who helped us put it together very last minute. So.
Yeah, it was really, Michael, I'm so glad you brought that up too, because it was really a small group of 4 or 5 people, very scrappy, that made those opening titles happen.
Yeah, because when I saw it, it's like, oh my gosh, this, like you were saying, this has a Pink Panther feel. There's like a Hanna-Barbera kind of energetic to it. Yep. So I really love that, and it just reminded me of those times, and we kind of don't see that anymore. So that's why I was like really excited, and I was kind of interested in asking you about it. So one of my other questions was, I think one of you mentioned in the press conference that it was a lot easier to do these as shorts. So. And on the other flip side, I've also heard that shorts are harder to make. So I was wondering, was it because it's based on a story we already have, Was it a lot easier to make it as shorts because you already know what kind of story you wanted to tell, or was it a little bit more challenging?
I want to hear from Josie, especially her coming from the feature and into the shorts. But I will say really quickly that I love the history of shorts at Disney, and there's such a challenging element to them, which is every shot matters. Every shot has to be a storytelling moment. You have sometimes shaving off seconds changes the pacing. So you're really right, Josie. We're in editorial working every single frame. And I see that as a huge challenge. But Josie, you worked on the feature. So
the world of features, and having worked on them for, golly, 15, 17, 18 years, it was sort of a nice change of pace for me to go to shorts, because it was almost just like a sequence. When you board a sequence, it's just a snippet. And just really part of it is the joy of doing different genres and re-exploring the world of Zootopia and these great characters, and making sure that they're smart, they're comedic, they're as inventive as the original. I think that kind of finite set of challenges was really exciting for me creatively. Especially because the features can just take a lot longer to develop and to kind of you hone them over years. So it was nice to sort of do something in a sprinting sort of form. But you're right, nothing is ever easy.
So I'm towards my last question. I was wondering what other stories that you wanted to tell but you couldn't tell because given some characters, some of the actors have passed on. So I was just wondering, were there any other stories that you were really interested in looking at but you couldn't do per se because of circumstances, I guess? So
I would say, because we didn't have a writer for this series. So it was Josie, Michael, and I, and the story team that really built these all from the ground up. So there were a lot of ideas thrown around there. Really, I feel like we're just trying to make each other laugh, and the best ideas did rise to the top. I truly believe that. So although there were some that I would have loved to pursue more, I'm just really overjoyed with the 6 that we landed on.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I can throw in one question. What were some of the best moments that were recorded, but that you did in the process, but couldn't really put it out there, I guess, put it in any of the episodes?
Oh, I would say Bonnie and Dawn were so funny. They're great improv. They're great comedians, great comedic geniuses. And they gave us hours of just hilarious improv. We really had to pick and choose, right, Trent?
Oh yeah, that one jumps out to me too, as they gave us probably 30 minutes worth, Michael, and we had to find the perfect 6 minutes. The other one I'll just throw out there really quick. When we had Raymond Percy, he came in to do Flash, the sloth. I asked him what it would sound like to have a sloth sneeze, and it wasn't even in our episode. I just wanted to hear how he would sneeze. So that jumps out.
Well, thank you guys so much. I had a wonderful time talking to you about this, and I'm glad I got to get some really good information about the opening credits. And I'm going to have a joy just sharing this with everybody and telling everyone to watch this.
Thank you, Michael. Great to see you again.
Great to see you again. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Of course. Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life. Comics, movies, and TV. Yeah. Pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.